No one knows. We get these pills to swallow. How they stick in your throat. Tastes like gold. Oh, what you do to me, no one knows. And I realize you're mine. Indeed a fool am I. I realize you're mine. Indeed a fool am I. I journey through the desert of the mind with no hope. I follow. I drift along the ocean, dead lifeboat in the sun, and come undone, pleasantly caving in. I come undone, and I realize you're mine. Indeed a fool am I. I realize you're mine. Indeed a fool am I.
We are the ones who don't know what we're fighting for. Give us a gun and send us all off to war. We are the ones who grow up in violent homes. We are the ones who don't know what's right or wrong. I know. We are the ones. We are the ones. We are the ones who were born into war. We are the ones. We are the ones. We are the ones who just don't give a fuck no more. No more. We are the ones who don't know why we're losing score. Give them a badge so they could send us to the morgue. We are the ones who attempt to walk out the door. We are the ones who don't know what we're dying for. I know. We are the ones. We are the ones. We are the ones who were born into war. We are the ones. We are the ones.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the latest episode of I'm No Joe, your home for all things combat sports, and the place where every armchair quarterback can feel like Eddie Bronco. The views and opinions presented on the I'm No Joe channel belong solely to the person expressing them, no one else. If we say it, that means we meant it. That being said, this show does contain adult themes, adult content, and general shit that you shouldn't be letting your kids intake. Be advised, viewer discretion is recommended. Proceed at your own risk. You've been warned. If it's Sunday, oh yeah. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of appropriate ages, to the What Did I Say show, the show where I hold our shit talking and predictions accountable for the weekend's combat sports events. First and foremost, happy birthday, Swaggy Shane, making so much behind the scenes possible. So big, huge happy birthday shout out to Swaggy Shane at 303030. If you're into it, go get it. That being said, we did have a trio, I guess you would say, of combat sports taking place yesterday throughout the course of the day. First and foremost, just because I fucking told you so, Bellator 287 from Milan was dog shit, and I will say, I was even a little bit overzealous in my predictions, apparently, because not only was the Fabian Edwards versus Charlie Ward match the most exciting fight on that card, that fight itself sucked dick out loud on the corner for change in broad daylight. So that whole fucking card was a complete wash. It was a waste of fucking time, money, and energy. The world learned that an almost 50-year-old, clearly past their prime legend is almost 50 years old and clearly past their prime. That's all we're going to talk about that. But that will bring us to the UFC 283 card yesterday. The reason for the headline we will clearly get to in just a little bit, but there were some very, very exciting and interesting matchups that took place yesterday. So first and foremost, we opened the card with a very interesting matchup. The only weight miss on the entire card was from Josh Weems, who, to his credit, took the fight on literally, I think, 3 days' notice, but at the same time, he still fucking missed weight, and I think he missed by 2.5 pounds. So there was already a fucking a ray of doom set against him from the very beginning. But then, to the surprise of most everyone watching, Christian Rodriguez came out and was just a fucking man possessed. He turned a takedown into an incredible anaconda choke to get the submission starting the night off at 4 minutes 7 seconds in round one. So absolute fucking beautiful work from Christian Rodriguez. Definitely going to be paying a little closer attention to what they do with him going forward. Absolutely. That being said, I think it was it the only, I think, no, there was, okay, so there was a couple more, but it was the first decision of the evening, and disappointment for all the hype that I had built up last week on the show, talking about LFA making their breakthrough, and their LFA flyweight champion Carlos Mota came in and absolutely stepped on his own dick against Cody Durden. It looked absolutely fucking terrible. Again, granted, it was a short notice fight, but Cody Durden needed to have his ass kicked for it to look good, and he did not, and he ended up getting the unanimous decision victory, which only his team was really happy about, I think. So there was that. That being said, that will bring us to one of the more exciting but maybe not surprising moments of the evening last night. Chase Hooper versus Steve Garcia. We've been talking about it since he made his fucking debut. Chase Hooper is excellent at submissions, but he is garbage at striking and just general wrestling and grappling. And Steve Garcia took full advantage of that. And at, what did they call it? 1 minute and 32 seconds. Just laid Chase Hooper the fuck out flat. I don't know if he just hasn't been working on his striking a lot, or if he's been working on his striking at all, but I think this might be the last time we see Chase Hooper in the octagon, because he's had several bad fucking losses, several finishes, but this one was rough. Like, he got laid the fuck out here. We knew from the get-go he was good in the submissions, but if you can't do anything else, like we've talked about it on the Thursday show before, the era of the one-trick pony is done. Like, you can't come in and be a specialist at one thing anymore. Even fucking Islam, for as little as I like him, is a decently well-rounded fighter. He's not just a Dagestani wrestler. He clearly has good striking, as was put on display 2 weeks ago. But yeah, Chase Hooper, if this is not the last time we see him in the UFC, then his next performance will ultimately be his fate decider for the company. I'm 100% certain of it. That being said, Jun Young Park, man, the Iron Turtle is a bad motherfucker, and Ugly Joe Holmes should have stayed on the fucking Soup Can series. Less than fucking 2 minutes, or excuse me, 3 minutes into the second round, just flipped the fucking switch and went fucking haywire. 3 minutes into the second round, crazy fucking submission. Props to the Iron Turtle. But just, I think I could have been happy with a Walrus slap fight much more than I was with the minute 50 is what they called it officially. Yeah. Submission from Marcos Rogerio de Lima. Arlovsky is so far beyond past his fucking use by date. The last half a dozen matches they have given him have been laughable fucking bastardizations of what MMA should be. And this was a perfect example to anyone watching. Arlovsky needs to fucking retire. Period. Stop. End of sentence. That being said, to the surprise of most people watching, I think, last night, 4 minutes and 9 seconds is what they are calling it into the first round. Roman Dolidze just absolutely fucking manhandles Philip Hawes, pops his knee out in a knee bar attempt, lets him stand up because he screamed, which in any other match can and would have been considered a verbal submission, and the match would have ended, clearly seeing that his knee was injured in that submission attempt. But when they both looked at the referee and the referee did not stop the fight, Dolidze came in and just fucking dropped Philip Hawes, knocked him smooth the fuck out. So, ouch. 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 Fucking ouch. That being said, moving into the main card, Khalil Roundtree Jr. versus Dustin Jacoby. Controversial split decision fight. One of the most one of the most controversial fights of the evening. A lot of people I saw on social media felt that Jacoby won that fight, and I don't know what fight those people were watching. Yes, he may have gotten the better of a couple of the exchanges, but overall, as a whole, having gone back and rewatched the fight again today, no, you're wrong. I'm sorry, you're wrong. Khalil Roundtree very much won that fight. It was close. There was a couple of good moments for Jacoby, but he did not win that fight. That being said, Khalil could not keep his fucking guard up or throw more than one shot at a time. He did not understand how to throw combos for whatever reason yesterday. It was all one shots. But luckily for him, Dustin Jacoby has fucking pillow hands and couldn't do any serious damage in any of the better exchanges that he did land against Roundtree. So it's going to be very interesting to see what they do with both of those guys going forward. Khalil Roundtree didn't really put on the performance of a guy whose career is realistically in the jeopardy that his very clearly is. And Dustin Jacoby, for a guy on his second time through the UFC with heavy criticism against everything he does to begin with, sure the fuck did not look like a man that wants to come back and fucking actually put on a goddamn show in the UFC, at least not to me or the people that I was watching the fights with. That being said, though, we actually got a glimpse, just the ever so tiniest glimpse, into the potential that Tresean Gore entered the UFC initially carrying. He finally, I don't think completely, but at least a little bit, lived up to the hype he came into the Ultimate Fighter house bearing, and just absolutely gave Josh Frem the fucking business, man. Frem looked like he was completely out of sorts and a half step behind the entirety of the 5 minutes and 49 seconds that the fight lasted. Not even a minute into round two, and Gore fucking had him, wrapped him the fuck up, and gave him one of the strangest side mounted guillotine backwards chokes we've seen in a long time. Frem was facing that way, but Gore had him from the back around the side and literally was like separating his head from the rest of his body. So there was no fucking way to defend it. And then all she fucking wrote, choke Frem the fuck out. So very, very, very nicely done and much needed in Trayshawn Gore's situation here, because man, I tell you, if he would have come out there and Frem would have fucking steamrolled him, we'd never hear the name Trayshawn Gore again. Period. So he very much needed that and looked fucking good doing it as well. So props to Trayshawn Gore for a very fucking nice win. Let's see what he does next. That being said, we kind of expected the Walrus slap fight earlier, but we didn't get it earlier. We got it here in Jared Vandera versus Waldo Cortez Acosta, the Salsa Man. Good fucking Lord, was that a horrible Walrus slap fight if ever there was one. I will say this. I agree very, very begrudgingly, but I agree. Acosta won that fight, but only just so slightly. He very clearly has a big fucking hole in his game, and Vandera was starting to exploit the living fuck out of it. All I'm going to say is that if Waldo Cortez Acosta ever skips leg day again, it is very much going to be the end of his MMA career. Like, that motherfucker better be in the gym every day between now and his next fucking fight, and you better turn your legs into goddamn tree trunks, dude, because that was fucking horrible. It was way too flashy for a dude making his debut and not winning the fight at that point. Galti and I both talked about it in the moment. For me and him, we agreed the best moment of that whole goddamn fight was at the end of the third round, when Waldo was trying to fucking show off and be flashy and do this little fucking salsa like taunt move, and Jared Vandera, without missing a fucking beat, did the stupid little fucking salsa dance right the fuck back at him. I was literally fucking howling laughing at the fucking TV when that shit happened. So look, you squeaked, and I say this very seriously, you squeaked by in your fucking debut in the UFC, but Waldo Cortez Acosta, you better get your shit together, dude, or you will not last in that fucking organization at all, and no one will be surprised. There are more than enough people out there trying to be flashy. That doesn't fucking matter if you can't back it up with skill, and you did not. Get your shit together, dude, or get the fuck out of here. Go play in Bellator. Ain't nobody got time for that. That being said, one of the most infuriating things about this fucking weird Vegas 63 card that we had last night was that, we'll go over them in a minute, but they did not give a fucking fight of the night bonus. We're back on this bullshit. They gave 4 performance bonuses, no fight of the night bonus. And it fucking drives me crazy, because if you're going to give people stats like most performance of the night bonuses in a weight class, or most submission, or most fight of the night bonuses, then you have to give them out consistently so they fucking mean something. If you have every other card that doesn't have a fight of the night, but there's 4 performance bonuses of the night, you're throwing the fucking analytics off and devaluing your own fucking stats. That doesn't make any goddamn sense. Stop it. That being said, Tim Means versus Max Griffin was absolutely undeniably the fight of the night last night. The single best fucking 15 minutes of combat that took place in the entirety of that goddamn card. Very, very fucking close fight. Split decision win for Griffin. This was one of those fights that was close enough it could have gone either way, and neither man came out of that fucking fight looking worse for wear. They both put the fucking battle on their fucking shoulders and walked into the center of the goddamn cage and threw the fuck down. That was 15 minutes of beautiful fucking combat. Both men looked great for it. I don't think Means really has anything to worry about taking the fucking official L on his resume in that fucking fight. That being said, that brings us obviously to our main event, where the name for the fucking title of the episode comes from. We've talked about it on a stream earlier today. We talked about it in person a little bit, but god damn it. It seems like every card or every other card for like 2 months, 3 months now, the main event has ended or significantly been impacted because of some kind of fucking weird injury. And last night was no different. Luckily, last week it was the co-main event and not the main event that was shrouded by the crazy fucking injury. But this week, in a weird landing from an attempted flying knee, Calvin Kattar planted as he landed, and his fucking knee just went out, and you could see it was not fucking working right. They managed to do some fucking magic in between rounds, and he was able to walk on it for a literal split second, and one checked low kick to the good leg 8 seconds into round 2, and Kattar immediately fell trying to plant on that bad leg, and Herb Dean jumped in and fucking waved it off, as he absolutely should have, because that was fucking ridiculous. I will say we do not know for sure if Kattar came into that fight carrying that injury, like we know for a fact that TJ came into last week's fight carrying that shoulder injury to such an extent that he didn't do open workouts and warned Mark Goddard in the back that he'd been having that issue since April. So we don't know if this was an ongoing injury or if this was something that literally happened because he landed very strangely, and you can go back and watch that clip. It was a weird fucking landing. Like, he landed off step on his foot at a weird angle, more heel than front, and it just, I don't know. There's something weird. I'm sure we'll find out more as the next couple days go by. But that being said, like I mentioned, no fight of the night fucking bonus, but we did get 4 performance of the night bonuses. I will say I do have to agree that all 4 of these gentlemen do absolutely deserve their performance of the night bonus, but it would have been one of those situations where the finishes should have got bonuses and we should have gotten a fight of the night, in my opinion. It would have made more sense to do it that way. Obviously, Trayshawn Gore for that crazy side front mount, weird rear fucking anaconda guillotine neck popping choke thing that he did. $50K for him. Roman Dolidze for fucking destroying Phil Hawes's knee and then knocking him the fuck out. Makes 100% sense. Steve Garcia for fucking flatlining Chase Hooper. Makes 100% sense. And then Christian Rodriguez for opening the fucking card with that crazy fucking stupid ass fast submission that he fucking wrapped up. I absolutely agree with all of the people who got bonuses. I just think that it kind of fucks the whole thing up when they don't give a fight night or fight of the night bonus like they did in here. So, you know, what are you going to do though? But that being said, that is all we have got for yesterday's Punchy Kicky Combat Sports. Do not forget to tune in to this week's episode for UFC Vegas 64. What are they calling it? I think it's Fight Night 215. Rodriguez versus Lemos. We're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it, and we're going to bring in all the news that has gone down since then. So until Thursday night, feel free to go back in the archives, dig through any of the fun episodes that we have got out there. The Grand Prix is officially wrapped up. Those episodes were spectacular, but we haven't missed a major event for the I'm No Joe podcast in almost 5 years now. So we've got plenty to go back and listen to. If that's not your thing, I understand, but you're here, so it probably is. So go listen to some shit. Tell your friends about us. We appreciate it. That being said, make sure you are subscribed wherever you are consuming this, whether you're just listening to it through the app, you're watching it on the website, whatever you're doing here, wherever you are, we appreciate you just the same. That being said, if you don't appreciate us just the same, first and foremost, what the fuck are you doing this deep into a podcast you don't enjoy? Give it a thumbs down and then go fuck yourself. We won't even dispute it. That being said, that's all we've got for this particular episode. So until next time, folks, don't let ignorance stop you. You can root for anything.
Everybody was kung fu fighting. Those kids were fast as lightning. In fact, it was a little bit frightening. How do I say goodbye to what we had? The good times that made